kick this thing. Let's go.
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body. Because I am more than physical matter, I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world. I deeply desire to expand, to experience, to know, to understand, to control, to use such greater energies and energy systems as may be beneficial and constructive to me and to those who follow me. I deeply desire the help and cooperation, the assistance, the understanding of those individuals whose wisdom, development, and experience are equal to or greater than my own. I ask their guidance and protection from any influence or any source that might provide me with less than my stated desires.
Do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. Do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family and explorers of consciousness. I am the void one.
It's about that time.
Welcome to Lighting the Void.
Oh, broadcasting live from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of King Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void. It's Cosmic Conditions tonight. Thank the Lord. We're back for Cosmic Conditions every new moon right here. Mary Dusina is here with us. Real quick shout out. I want to thank all the supporters, Patreons, the people that have gotten tarot readings, and the people that are subscribing to the YouTube, the Patreon, all the supporters. Thank you guys so much. Without you, none of this would happen. So thank you. 2, last night I wasn't here because I needed some rest, you know. And secondly, as soon as we updated the Fringe FM website, as soon as we updated, you got to go check it out, by the way. It's way more high vibe, fringe.fm. It has more of a high vibe, far out frequency feel to it. But as soon as we put it up, it got attacked. A bot DDoS attack shut it down. So for 3 days, I was up, doing the cloud thing, proxy and stuff, trying to fix it. So it's there. And no more announcements other than that. But the Fringe FM is turning into something different. The radio station will still be there, but it is not going to be the, well, you'll see. It's not time for that announcement yet. But tonight, it is Cosmic Conditions with the one and only Mary Dusina, the Mountain Mama, the mother of this show, the one that tells it like it is. Thank God you're here. It's good to hear your voice, Mary. Thanks for coming. Good to hear you.
Thank you, and thank you, sir. Thank you. Blessings to you, Joe, and all that you do. And beautiful audience, we are in the energy of Libra, ruled by Venus, the planetary agent of equality, personal satisfaction, the factors that we all need to get to in order to feel that inner harmony. For some people on their vision quest, on their path It's a time that's so busy they wish they had some off time to have peace, go into nature, be with their animals, be with their children, their grandchildren, their partners even more. But Libra, I'm calling this eclipse. The curtain pulls back to expose, if I could give you two words, the other in our life. So what is the other? The first other is how we're doing with our inner self and our external self, and how the external aspects of our life, of our world, that which is orbiting around us, that you and I decide what power of authority or priority it has in our life. And for a lot of people, it's that marriage, it's that job, it's that key partner, that person you can let your hair down with, just be yourself, the trust factor, what gives the relationship, the friendship, the camaraderie, is that we can really we know that person can be trusted.
Right.
And Libra and Pisces are the signs that are this eclipse portal, this vortex of the eclipse energies. Pisces, as a rule, our September 17th, 18th supermoon, full moon eclipse that we had, and then 2 weeks later we're right here with the October 2nd, 2024 eclipse, the last one in Libra for 9 years. Reference points back to this series of Aries Libra eclipses jump back to the spring and autumn months of 2004 into 2006. Just kind of write that down and you can think about it later. It jumps back also to 2014. We're going to have one more Aries eclipse in March of 2025. This one right here, and the things that have been swirling and spinning around us privately, intimately, personally, since the April 8th eclipse of this year, the big April 8th. And for those of you that were made aware of the great North American eclipse that happened in 2017, when the eclipses were bouncing around in Leo Aquarius, the eclipse of August the 21st, 2017, was tied to the X across these eclipses was tied to April 8th of this year, not by sign, but by frequency and energetics of intensity. So the April 8th Aries eclipse, solar eclipse, formed and opened an energetic frequency bridge of self-discovery. And the Aries is the I am. It's where we give authority within ourselves, where we're anxious to take action, where we will have to plant the new seeds and then by the harvest separate the wheat from the chaff. This is also Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. The Jewish New Year of what we call 2024 was known as energetically the door. And those of you that look at the symbology of the Bible, there's that picture, that saying of Jesus, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Let he who would hear my voice allow me to enter in, and I will sup with him, and he will sup with me." The Jewish New Year that begins tonight and is celebrated over the next 2 days, it started after sundown tonight on a supermoon, new moon, eclipse in the sign of hopeful peace, and where there's been discord and disruption and eruption and jolts. And it's interesting. This Jewish New Year that opens up the next year, the theme in the Jewish culture and the Jewish belief of next year is the voice speaks. So that's interesting. We're moving from the Jewish year of the door, and now we're moving into, and the voice now speaks. So with the Jewish tradition, because we talk about a lot of different cultural beliefs and mystical applications of whether it's indigenous cultures, the Eskimo Inuit Indians, the Sufis, the Zoroastrianism, the Hindu, the Buddhic, the Christian, the Judaic. This eclipse happens to be lighting up the Judaic holiday, the sounding of the shofar. And if you don't know what a shofar is, it's a ram's horn that has had the marrow carved out of it. In the Middle East, it's the sounding of the trumpet, the sounding of the shofar. And Rosh Hashanah literally means the head of the year in Hebrew. So it is the beginning of the new year. And I love this time of year, although I was absolutely not raised in Judaic culture. When I first metaphysically became aware of what they call the 10 days of awe. Now, in the South here, we do say that crow noise whenever something surprises us. We'll go, awe, like that. We do make those noises in the southern mountains of culture, but this is AWE, and it's 10 days of signs and wonders to behold, and it ends with Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. And so it's about not being too focused, attached, addicted to the work, the money, the social interactions. It's about allowing the high holies to cleanse, atone, bless you. It's like a clearing and cleansing. If you were talking Reiki, if you were talking clearing your chakras, it's about allowing the high holies, the supernatural grace and glory, the great supernatural forces of love's light to literally do what I call, when I work with my clients, a clean sweep. Like it's literally sweeping clean, unconsciously and consciously, the areas of embedded regret, resentment, shame, blame, of you to yourself, as well as other people that may have triggered you and wronged you. And so Libra and Pisces are basically non-confrontational celestial energies. So there's aggressive, there's assertive, there's passive-aggressive. And then there's the sign of Pisces and Libra are similar in that they don't really prefer confrontation. And they often don't get their needs met emotionally or recognized because they tend to want to keep the peace so much that they will defer to the other, to the partner, to the family member. It's like, oh, God, if I just go along with Mom, she won't bitch about her. Oh, if I just let the kid have their way this time and play the video games for another 30 minutes, I had a stressful day at work, I'll just let it go. And so then they can psychologically and subconsciously, I have a lot of Pisces Libra clients I work through this, the moons, the risings, they unconsciously care enough about the people that they love and that they desire, children, parents, good friends, benefactors, that they often put their needs on the back burner, and that can throw them into a type of unconscious victim status. And when you get into that, well, they don't care about me, I give to them, and I'm always there for them, and it just seems like I'm forgotten, or they always expect me to give, but where's the reciprocity? So if you get into that kind of pattern, that mental, subconscious, psychological pattern of always letting the other keep the peace or the other have their way, then you end up being somewhat, to a greater degree, 1 to 10 scale if you want to do it lesser or more, of a victim. And when you get into victim consciousness, which a lot of Pisces can especially, you're always going to create and manifest the perpetrator. So the Pisces, the Pisces moon that we had is wanting to shed light on where we might be deferring to the other because we don't want to be triggered, and we've had enough. And we all too well know what rejection feels like, so we kind of take it upon ourselves to take a breath and take a pause and sometimes squelch our own needs, passions, and desires, or speaking up at work or with our family members, because we know what it feels like to be kicked to the curb or our legs knocked out from under us, and so we try so hard not to inflict any kind of pain upon another person. In metaphysics, we tend to start to want to be compassion in action. So when we look at the year energetically moving in this culture from the door, behold, I'm standing at the door of your chakras. Behold, the door of your heart chakra is being knocked on by everything that is love's light and the Christed consciousness and the Holy Ghost and great mystery and Buddha, whatever you ascribe to. This is that clarion call And I, for the last 7 years, my guides have told me, lean in to these 10 days of awe. And I'm like, okay, how come? Because I wasn't raised Jewish, teach me. And it's just one of the ways that my guides are fine-tuning me like a tuning fork. And I'm telling you, it's kind of hard to remember what your themes were astrologically. Astrologically, it's like the sky clock, and they'll say, okay, the eclipse that happened in March and April, think back to this year because you're finishing up and putting a bow on that this September, October. There's so much that happens in our life. It's kind of hard to do that if you don't journal. But the last 3 years, the signs and wonders, the animal manifestations, the type of things, I did journal, and I will. It starts, tonight. I'm doing this show. I'm so blessed that I get to do this show starting the opening of the 10 Days of Awe. And so it's about what is it you want to release? What is it that you will take accountability for, whether you've been holding yourself back in order to hope to keep that relationship, in order to not ruffle their feathers. We're going to slip out and we can have a cleansing of those unbalanced. Libra is the scales of justice. And so Pisces is the 12th house. And I've been telling my astrological clients lately, oh my God, how you can get so bogged down in astrology, Joe, all the details of it, the squares and the 120 and the 60 degrees and the elements and all that. And I say to my clients, oh my God, I would never will I go through it again of 40 years of, and I would never say, oh yes, I know everything about astrology if there is to know. Oh hell no. There's always something you can learn. It's just such a marvelous star language. So if you just try to keep it, I'm going to leave out that last word we're all used to hearing, keep it simple, but I'm leaving out that next word.
Stupid?
Instead of keep it simple. Yeah. And so I'm going to release that. Keep it simple. So I try to work with even people that just claim that, oh, they're astrologers now, they're so advanced. I just kind of snicker going, good luck with that. So Pisces, these are two eclipses, the doors. And the voice starts to speak as of tonight with Rosh Hashanah. We move from the door is opening and the voice is going to speak. So Pisces, when you look at that sign, don't go jumping yet where you have Pisces in your chart. Keep it simple. Pisces is the third of the water signs in the Western zodiac when we open up the order of the signs. First is Aries. The 12th sign is Pisces, the fishes. It's the element of water. And so it has to do with the depths of super consciousness, higher consciousness. Its polarity, opposite sign, is Virgo. And so the two signs of both natural and supernatural healing and the ability to be that healer, to plug into that healer, to receive the assistance from either medical or naturopathic healing is the Virgo-Pisces dynamic. But Pisces was presented at our last supermoon full moon. Normally, full moons shed light on areas of our life that need cleansing, clearing, and they're usually endings. The Pisces full moon that we had in middle September was the end of a 12-month sign cycle. Pisces is the last sign. The moon that we've got coming up this month, around the middle of October, known as the Hunter's Moon in a lot of cultures, is going to be the Aries full moon. And so we start a new lunar cycle with this mid-October full moon that's coming up in Aries. So even though we have an eclipse right now, it's joining with Lilith, Mercury is in Libra, the sun and moon are in Libra, and Libra is governed by the energy of Venus. So this eclipse, regardless of our signs, this eclipse is governed and is ruled by the planet Venus. So Venus is Aphrodite, and Venus is it's Botticelli's famous painting of Venus riding on a beautiful shell with cherubims all around her, coming in from the ocean, like coming in from the ocean into the land. So Venus right now is in Scorpio. So there is a scorpionic. Venus is not as well placed in Scorpio. She loves being in Libra, the sign she rules, and she second loves being in Taurus. So right now she's in Scorpio, and that has a lot to do with, and forgive me for saying it this way, but this has a lot to do with what needs to die, what needs to transform, what needs to be buried as a belief that doesn't serve you the best anymore. The things that are not allowing you to become or celebrate the best, better version of yourself are going to get exposed. And where Joe and I often talk about new moons are said to be, because the sun and moon are married in the same sign, they're said to be cycles of new seeds being planted of the month and new beginnings. Not this one. Not this one. This continues the cleansing of the lunar eclipse in Pisces, because we've got an annular eclipse. It's annular comes from the Latin annulus, which means ring of fire, which makes it a ring of fire because the moon doesn't totally cover the whole disk of what we appear to see as the sun. So this eclipse, because it's a supermoon and because it's got all this Libra energetics going on, the reason it's got to do with more cleansing, clean sweeping of our energy centers and letting go of what no longer serves us in our attitude, in our speech, Mercury's in Libra, how we're saying what we're saying, when we're not speaking up. This is conjunct what they call the tail of the dragon or the South Node. The South Node is our past. It's everything that we blundered into, took a chance, and sometimes it worked, and sometimes we fell flat on our face, but we learned. The tragedies, the agony, the ecstasy, all those things when we said, I want this, I'm going to do it. I don't care how it ends, I'm going to jump and take the risk. So the South Node, or the dragon's tail, is said to be by Edgar Cayce and a lot of astrologers like myself that like to work with soul-based, reincarnational, evolutionary, esoteric astrology. We look at what's the seed, where's the origin of this, what helped form this, and if reincarnation is true, what are the psychological or evolutionary patterns that the person came in with that might be adjustments or habits that could be best crack the shell, come out of the egg type of a thing, emerge from it so you don't continue to have repetitive patterns of emergencies. So it's transformational. Venus rules this eclipse because she's in Scorpio. Venus rules Libra. So we are in a phoenix. Something's got to die. Something's got to be let go. That also could not necessarily be in partnerships, business, or intimate. It could have a lot to do with where we hang on because of our insecurities, where we get afraid and back up or retreat, or when somebody has confronted us and we didn't think we were treated fairly at all. And so the themes of this are how can we balance? Let's go to another culture. In Egyptology, Libra is the Egyptian deity spelled M-A symbol A-T, Ma'at. And Ma'at is the scales of justice, and in one side of the scales, there's a feather. And in the other side of the scale, there's a heart. And in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, they believe that if the person's heart, as they are transitioning and passing, was as light as a feather, the kindness, the compassion, their ability to release the things that weighed heavy upon them, that they were able to atone, they were able to move ahead and not be locked in the past or chained by the things that they didn't quite understand. Why did they do that? Why did I do that? I feel so at fault. I feel so responsible for that person's sadness or anger or whatever. The fact that they can't let that experience, even though it was difficult, even though it could have been tragic and very hurtful, all of those soul lessons helped you and I and Joe and everybody we know evolve to the character strengths that we have right now. Yep, even the pain. So I'm going to summarize that before I go into the important dates and themes of this with this. Pisces rules the 12th house. I'm going to give you 4 components I'd like you to look at in your chart to make it easy for you to understand the dynamics of this bridge of frequencies, this energetic connection and tie we have to March of 2025. Yeah, that's right, from October of 2024, there's an archway into March of 2025. And you and I are all pilgrims. We're all starting this journey like the Fool in the tarot card. We're now starting a new rite of passage, and we're all going to be shedding old skins and endeavoring to fashion, under grace, with the harmony of Libra, a better, best version of ourselves. We're going to call that in, and we're going to allow it, claim it, receive it with the help of supernatural love, light, and grace. So, first you're going to study, and again, don't just go to your own chart yet. First you're going to study not people that you know that are Pisces, but I want you to study of the three water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, what's unique about Pisces? It's the oceanic depths, it's mystery, it's escapism, it's addiction, it's fantasy, it's artistry, it's like being able to trip the light fantastic, and even after a hallucinogenic experience, you emerge and you go into your multidimensional self and you meet your guides and your higher self, meditation, cross-cultural ceremonies, all of that. When you're endeavoring to let the mystical, the spiritual, and the sacred walk along beside you, that's the best of Pisces. When we succumb to our insecurities, rejection, bitterness, I'm the victim, they're the villain, or I was the villain, and they felt like they're the victim, that can be the minus of the Piscean frequencies. And the drama that can surround the Pisces energy is often we have to have a tsunami of emotions, or we have to have hurricanes mentally and psychologically that come in and just wash away everything. I'm in the Smoky Mountains. I'm in the Appalachians, and I can tell you, high heels on the ground, boots on the ground, that this event that happened in North Carolina, parts of Tennessee, South Carolina, this event with the people that were preppers, that were prepared, that were off the grid, that were up in the mountains is much more intense than what's being reported in the media. So it's a call to compassion. Also, what's happening is those rednecks that people talk about, those guys with their ATVs and their dirt bikes, and there's a thing called the mule packers, like the Mennonites and the Amish use, and their old little horse-drawn buggies and all. There's like 40 teams of mules, and the boats can't get in. There's so much debris and bodies.
Or their ability
to
adapt in a sucky environment. Yeah.
Yeah, and these people, there are people that are absolutely isolated in these backwoods places, up on the hills where they're the gushing, kind of like mudslides and things. And there's a guy there's these race car drivers with helicopters that are coming in, and then there's the other faction, because good old Pluto is in 29 degrees of Capricorn again. Let me just mention one thing, and you'll understand what I'm talking about authority. Back in 2020. In that January 12, 2020, when the whole Saturn-Pluto thing aligned, we started to find out before the whole pandemic, plandemic, scamdemic, whatever you want to call it, when the lockdowns occurred with authority and governments and rulers saying, you the people do what we say, not as we do. So Pluto is retrograding at that 29th degree of Capricorn until about mid-November. So once again, it started September 2nd. So once again, we're looking at the increases of war. Libra's peace, Aries is the warrior, the soldier, the hero. And so what we have here are battlefields that are going on. You and I can look at any kind of world news right now. And before this flood here in the Appalachian Mountains, there were horrible floods. I mean, Poland declared a state of emergency right around the full moon in Pisces. England, which always gets rain. I have English clients over there in the UK, and they're like, oh, my God, there's something so bizarre with this. So it isn't just a section of here, but what they're comparing this to is the Maui fires, the Paradise, California fires, except this time it's wind-driven water and the intensity of that, and that there are authorities coming in that are also stopping the regular people wanting to bring in truckloads of supplies and foods like that. And so these good old hillbilly mountain people are going in on their ATVs and horses and mules, and they're doing search and rescue, and they're bringing food in. So they're, quote, defying the authority to be those compassion and action warriors that are going in saying, you can arrest me if you want to. I'm coming in to help. These are people are desperate. So we've got this instead of the victims of this weather tragedy, you've got the heroes, and then you've got the villains trying to put a stop to it. And all of it needs to be balanced, because search and rescue teams, they absolutely, their first order of business is, we have got to rescue the people that are trapped. I get it. So there's got to be a balance there, doesn't there, besides the people that are caught up with their heart going, I'm going to help Kentucky. So that's part of the Piscean spin of the water storms. Libra, so I want you to study Pisces and the energy of Pisces and what makes your emotions rise to the top, the high tides, the low tides, the waterworks, the back yourself up against the wall going, I don't know what to do. I just have to surrender. How and what makes you surrender to the will of God or the will of great mystery, or just put you on your knees and say, I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate. I got to breathe. That's Pisces. When you come to the crisis and the chaos, the edge of the cliff, Pisces says, where's your faith? Oh, ye of little faith. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you that's medicine. Lean into the mystery of faith and the majesty of faith. Second point to study is learn everything you can about what does the 12th house mean. Pisces is the 12th sign. It's the 12th house. So I want you just to focus on the 12th house. It rules your subconscious mind, dreams, intuitions, instinct, and secrets. Some of the secrets within you and I haven't even come to the surface yet. There are parts of us, intimate parts of us, dark and light parts of us that we haven't even borne witness to or yet to come out in the cycle of our life walk. The other two things are this eclipse is Libra. Libra, when you look at the air signs, they start with Gemini, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. Libra's the middle air sign when we're going in the order. Aquarius is the final one. Libra rules the 7th house. And of all the symbols and constellations of these 12 signs, Libra has the scales of justice. It's not a bull. It's not a crab. It's not fishes. It's not a half man, half horse. It's the scales of justice. It's the 7th house. Now, in the way I do it with the medicine wheel, if Aries is the first sign, which is the opposite polarity sign to Libra, Aries is the sunrise. Your rising sign, your ascendant, is Aries rule. The first house is Aries. I am that I am. Across the sky, at sunset, that's Libra. So Libra is we are, we can. And so Libra is about the other, who I team up with, who I collaborate with, who's got my back, who I want to be around, who I want to play with, who I want to dance with, who I want to hug or cry with. Libra is the partnership, it's the we, and Aries is the I. And so what we have here is we have a Libra supermoon solar eclipse. And we've got Lilith there, and we've got Mercury there, and the sun and moon. So Libra is intimate commitment. So it rules marriage, it rules diplomacy, negotiations, and it rules how can I get out of this battle? The battle of my mind, air signs of our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, how we communicate, how we shut down. So I want you to study what are the energies and frequencies of Libra, just like I suggested for Pisces. Do those like they're spices. They're like spices on your shelf. Then you're going to study the 12th house tied to Pisces and the 7th house tied to Libra. If you'll just take those 4 bullet points of study and really just kind of go all over the internet and study that, every book that you've got, what's the 7th house mean? What's the energy of Libra? What's Pisces? What's the energy of the 12th house? Do that, and then your final homework step, which is going to make it a lot easier, if you want to have the full bloom of the celestial empowerment, is to then find Libra and Pisces as your houses in your birth chart. If you have a problem with that, you can get a hold of me, and there's like 10,000 other astrologers out there. But it depends if you want a seasoned one that's done it for 30, 40 years, or you want somebody that's just a fresh upstart and fascinated by it all. So there's a difference in what you're drawn to. Trust who you're drawn to, but I can help you with that. So that's the recipe, that's the formula that I would give you for this. And this new moon, because of us having the Pisces completion cycle in mid-September, it throws more of a healing and releasing aspect to this new moon, supermoon, which amplifies it. The eclipse amplifies it. The partial eclipse amplifies it. And we're being called to let go of old beliefs about relationships. Now, maybe it'll be that we're letting go of an old relationship, the way we always acted with our mom or our kid or our dad, or a particular relationship that struck an exclamation point with us in a whole bunch of ways. But we got to let go of how we framed it, how we analyzed it, and how we kind of put it in a box, because this eclipse from now until March, I'm going to harp on that, from now until March of 2025 can be a complete revision, reset, resurrection of some people that you have known and had relationships with that come into some type of reckoning, a type of reincarnation of relationships. Like maybe we had to set boundaries, maybe we had to walk away, maybe we treated them wrong, they treated us wrong, we were immature, we were angry, we were defensive, we were needy, that all of that, there was a break apart, and we're to take care of that within our own self and realize the medicine points and empowerments in our own self, rather than just hoisting it on them and what they did and the other in our life. Start with the other part of you, the part of you that judges you or judges them. That's the other that I'm talking about. And if you want to take it higher, then what gives you peace and harmony? Libra, what gives you peace of heart, peace of soul, peace of mind? What are those tools? What are those medicine bag tools that can help calm you when those triggers happen? Why did they do that to me? And how could they do that to me? I mean, what makes them take a turn that if I was a good person with them, yeah, we all have flaws. We all have oddities and things that we're maturing into. But what in the Sam Hill would make somebody just take that turn and deceive me and hurt me and drop me? We've done it. We've had it done to us. So this isn't about patting ourselves on the back for what we've survived in the romantic and intimate storms in our life. It's about, have we really let it go? Is it still residing within us and interfering with our vulnerability to trust again? So it's time to stop allowing your past.
Too, you know, like you have to learn from this stuff.
Oh, honey, it's soul school. It's soul school. It's soul surgery.
I mean, in my case,
surgery.
it's not like the stuff wasn't there to begin with, right?
Exactly.
It's not like all of a sudden, oh, they deceived you and hurt you. It was there the whole time. You just weren't doing anything
conscious
about
of it.
You weren't conscious of it.
That right? Too. Yeah, that too. Because listen, most of us have a really good core. You know, most of us aren't psychopathic, narcissistic junkies.
Most of
okay?
us,
yeah, most of us. And I think that when people, I always say to my clients when they go through something really rough like that, someone ripped them off financially, didn't appreciate them, whatever it is, I say to them, it's either going to make you bitter or it can make you better. So to your point about we're the only way we grow from it sometimes, Joe, is by going through it.
That's
we
right.
have to go through it because it's the garden of life, and it'll help us realize that even though that was crappy, even though that like gutted me in a sense, and it was like a really rough comeback, it taught me not to not do that to somebody else that kind of way. And it also taught me of a lot of things that I can survive, you know, the abusive trauma, the people treating us in untoward, nefarious ways. So this eclipse is, and because Venus rules it and she's in Scorpio, Scorpio is the death and rebirth. It's the phoenix, you know, the spontaneous combustion of the phoenix, and it rises up from its own ashes to be born again. So as we mourn, key sentence here, as we mourn over the next 2 weeks, as we mourn the death of the old version of you, we may experience sadness, confusion, interesting kinds of stress points or distracted thinking, negative thoughts. But this is a reset at a soul level. It's soul surgery, as I said. This is a transformative process that's helping all of us to be reborn again. So we're walking through the door. We're allowing ourselves to flow with any of those disappointments and losses and surrender to the fact of some things we just can't control, and there's a bigger picture, which is why there's statements like hindsight is 20/20. We can look back and, yeah, I didn't see that then. I certainly learned from that. So be easy, Libra, Pisces, be easy. Be gentler with yourself. Pause. Be gentler with yourself and others. Take your power back and become very conscious, very cognizant of your relationship dynamics, so that moving toward the energy, forward with your energy, not being held back by the past anymore. You're unpacking the suitcase, you're moving forward, you're going to trust, that you're a more wise version of yourself, so you're going to take your power back, become conscious of your relationship, moving parts and dynamics, so that as we're moving forward, our energy is only reciprocated, honored, respected, appreciated, instead of being violated, drained, or manipulated. And that's soul alchemy. That's what it is. And I just find these events that are going on right now, like whatever this asteroid is. I mean, you get bogged down by all the details of the names and everything. You want the technicals, look it up your damn self. But this asteroid that's come in on September 29th, and it's joining our moon, and they're saying it's an asteroid, but they're calling it the mini moon, and it's going to be around in the orbit. Apparently the moon's orbit grabbed it, and it's going to be the second moon, or the little mini moon by appearance with our telescopes and stuff, and it's going to be in the moon's orbit, which metaphysically I'm still wrapping my head around that one. Okay, we got like extra lunar energy. Yeah, I'm looking at that mystically, not just astrologically, and it's going to be with us until November 25th. Oh, that's interesting. So September 29th, Libra, and then we're going to go all the way into Sagittarius. Libra is about the sacred contracts and how it's a win-win. And Sagittarius is also about the pursuit and the activation of philosophical truths that benefit everybody, the higher love, the higher mind. And Libra, being the seventh house, is, and who will we choose to do the deal with and be in agreement with, and they bless you and you bless them. So it's just interesting to me. There's all this kind of stuff going on. So what to look for? There is intensity. I'm not sugarcoating it for you. These are very intense times. Mercury's going to be popping into Scorpio. I'm going to give you a couple of dates. Get your pens ready. So, because I teach school. Intensity and release. That's the balance of the scales. Big feelings. We had a Pisces supermoon. Big feelings are going on between mid-September and at least the full moon of November. But we're going to bring it back to self as we get to mid-October, because that will be the Aries full moon. And so it's the hunter moon. So we've got to hunt within ourselves to see where we don't want to hunt that kind of way anymore, and where we don't have to be hunted or the hunter. So Aries is going to give us our power back. There are endings and beginnings. There's transformation and profound healing. When you have a supermoon, lunar eclipse in Pisces, no matter what test, medical results, challenges, shock waves, so well, this test said this, and this is going on, and that's hurting, and oh, no, and sudden transitions of pets or people, sudden anomalies as far as people leaving the planet, and all of a sudden someone's pregnant and somebody else is going to be born. This has a lot to do with, there's a supernatural curtain being pulled back. And so what it is that's leaving is as much a teacher that it's got to go. It's served its time as its teacher. You're graduating from that particular grade, and there are new dynamics coming into you and for you. And it's autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the golds and the oranges and the reds, and we're harvesting. And we're looking at what we planted back in spring, and we're beginning to harvest the fruits and the nuts and whatever that is. And you know those holidays that come with it.
Yeah.
The Thanksgivings and the Hanukkahs and the so what we have, the themes are, we've got to explore the space of relationship and what we expect out of that. We need to get really honest about what we hope and expect unconsciously from another lover, another person,
can
another
I just
friend.
say something here too? Because
absolutely.
Look, have you ever been around someone that hasn't, what Mary's talking about right now, that has held on to this narrative their entire life? Right. There's a big freedom when you can let this go. People think that, well, when I find this love, I find this money, I find this thing, I'm going to be fulfilled. But true fulfillment is letting go of the whole ideas of things about when I give, I'm going to give back. And if I don't give back, then I'm the victim and they're the perpetrator. Have you ever been around a person that's held on to that for 40, 50, 60, 70 years? Miserable. Mm-hmm. They're just in pain. I was raised by one. It is it's very prison. And he's a Pisces. Yeah, he feels deeply. He's a good man, but he hasn't let go. Even today when we were riding back, he was saying, because we were listening to music. He loves music because he's a Pisces. Pisces, one of those country songs comes on that says, "I'll catch a grenade for you." You know that song? Mm-hmm, Dad turns the radio down. He goes, what gets me is you love them that much, and but they won't do that for you. And it's this narrative victim. Is still running in his head. Like he's almost 70. It's sad, and I can't do anything about it. I've tried.
Okay, first we're going to reframe that.
I mean, I can. I know what you're saying. I can, but what I'm saying is like, I'm not here to change people's programs.
Yeah, that's not your job. It's not your job. That's right. That's right. But
once they're 70 deep in it, it's not my job to change them. It's not I can't.
Not your
it's
job,
I won't.
Right. It's not your job. That's not what Spirit expects of you. But because he is a good man, because he has come in to incarnate with you this lifetime, you can look at and have great compassion and love for, man, I wish he could break that chain. Well, what you can do in ceremony and prayer and music silently, that he never even has to know that you're doing it or that you did do it, is I now pray for the higher good of this man that I love. And I celebrate the good man that he is, and I ask supernatural grace. I ask the Almighty I Am. I receive it. I connect with it, and I allow all that is of grace to help him. I, in compassion, activate those frequencies. He doesn't know how. He may not want to do it himself. He may not believe it anymore. Right. So I'm going to, I give thanks. No, he's a Pisces. I give thanks that everything that's divine now flows into him and breaks those chains in God's own perfect way.
And I'll tell you what else happens to you in your life, right? With the South and the North Node thing. You'll keep cycling this kind of person into your life. People will come into your life. There'll be these people with this narrative. I always do this for people, and they don't do things for me. I cycled through these people through my whole life. I could see it in my my North and South Node in my 12th house. I can also see it in the Chiron, right? Just kept cycling. Why is this happening? It's something inside of us that we have to change. That's what I'm picking up what you're talking about,
You're right, and Chiron right now is in Aries, and the most sinister feminine energy you've ever encountered in your life, be it a friend or, a parent friend or a false face friend or that abusive parent or whatever, the very negative, those that have become embittered and like Medusa and the Harpies in Greek mythology is Lilith. Lilith right now, they're Adam and Eve and Lilith. Lilith right now is, if you really study Lilith, don't just look at it astrology. Go back in Roman and Greek legend. It's a pretty nasty-ass woman that likes to snatch babies and, baby eaters and stuff like that. So it's a really dark energy when you're looking at the minus side of Lilith. She is joining this eclipse as well as the South Node. So all of it's saying whatever psychological, unconscious, but repetitive, as Joe said, like people that are victims, I'm telling you, they manifest because
they
of victims. They got to have a perpetrator.
They make a ceremony about their story, about how
they have to validate they're a victim.
Yeah,
see that what that person did to me. Yeah,
makes it grow more.
So what you can do is you can shift that, even if you don't know how you're going to do it, how you're going to break up with it, just simply in your prayers, ceremonies, breath work, move to, I choose to be a victor. I'm not a villain, and I'm not a victim, and I am going to be victorious. I'm going to call in. I'm going to let my new cousin, I'm going to let my new psychological soul partner be victory and victorious, and that I have an ability to celebrate the triumphant, and I'm not going to see it as a battle to be the better version of myself. And if someone deliberately doesn't appreciate me or let me be me, then I just need to move on from that person. I don't need to fight with them, but I'll try to set a soft boundary first. I might say something like, well, what would be something that would work for both of us? Or how do you see that this could be a win-win? Libra's always ready to negotiate. Yep. Libra's always ready to negotiate and have a brilliant ability. Where Libra serves all of us in our chart is our ability to be the savvy diplomat. Not just to score the deal or get them to market you or be your client, but to really sincerely in your soul shine, want to do the win-win for that client, that patient, that coworker, whatever it is. If they then turn around and snarl at you because they're envious of you, you got the promotion, you're not out to compete or take anybody else's light or anything. You're just doing the best you can do, doing it right the first time, giving a damn enough about showing up and being the team player and the good person and the honest lover and blah, blah, blah. And if somebody else, a lot of times, I got to tell you, a lot of times when you decide to be the person that's committed, and if you're going to get involved in anything with anybody at all, you're going to do it right every time because you care. And sometimes when someone is a predator, sometimes when someone is a villain, when you show up and work hard and they're lazy, you're automatically exposing them, and they want to blame you. Because if you'd just be lazy like all of us, we could get away with goofing off more at work. And it's like, well, I'm not telling you what to do. This is just how I work. I'm not trying to show up anybody. This is just how I work. That's a part of the balance of Libra as well. So focus on, to yourself, not anybody else's judgment, where can I course correct myself? Where can I be more patient? Things are going to be intense. Where can I pause, reflect, and not overreact? Where can I not just automatically become passive-aggressive when I don't get my way, or cuss somebody out at the store in traffic, or not have a positive, constructive release of my temper or my sexuality? Let me take ownership of looking at what I've been demanding and expecting my external world, be it people, places, or things. What am I expecting from the outer earthly life? That is it at peace? Is it in balance with my inner psychological and spiritual self? So here's some key dates. Here's where you can, really listen to this part of the recording that Joe uploads. This will help you. So tonight's October 2nd, and it's the annular solar eclipse in Libra, and it's conjuncting the South Node, and we got a little dish dance of Lilith in there. So it's going to help us, the tools celestially and cosmically available to us, isn't a punishment. They're going to show us where that screw needs to be tightened up a little bit more, or the electrical outlet's going to fall out of the wall, or we need to roll up the cords nicely, put our tools back where they belong. If we have a little bit of leaning into, yeah, I could do that better. Yeah, I kind of did that sloppy. I was a little bit lazy on that. If we can lean into whatever we're going to do, we're not even going to do it unless we can apply ourselves, because the air signs are about the best of our intelligence. So Libra is going to show us, all of us, no matter what signs you have, and especially in the Libra area of your personal nativity, your personal birth chart. So that's now, and that is really strong over the next 2 weeks, especially as we come to the mid-October Aries full moon, because there's the Aries moon to balance to Libra. So we're going to see how we're doing. I think October 13th, 14th, 15th are like huge days of autumn 2024, just big in a lot of ways, big medicine. And then, of course, if you'll journal just a little bit as you come to this next 2 weeks, what were your themes? What did you let go of? What left your life? What wants to come in? By the time you get to mid-October, then just kind of tuck that away somewhere, your appointment book, your notes on your phone, whatever, and look at it in March, just 6 months from now. It'll be here before you know it, in March of 2025. So on October 4th, Venus, she rules this eclipse, is going to dance along with this water trine. Venus is going to trine Saturn. We can't leave the cardinal signs without talking about the fact that Mars is in Cancer. There's going to be an extra long retrograde of Mars getting into early Leo and bouncing back into the sign of Cancer. Mars is best when it's in Aries, weakest when it's in Libra, and second in detriment when it's in the sign of Cancer. The crab goes sideways. Mars is ready to confront it, call it out, fix it, tired of hearing it, let's do it. That's Aries. It's in Cancer right now, and it's at odds. The cardinal signs are all about taking action. Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries. Those are the 4 signs right now in the big spotlight for magnificent changes by the spring of 2025. But wherever we have to par things away that aren't serving their higher good for us and draining us or dragging us back or holding us back, we're going to bear witness to that by the time we get to Capricorn of 2024. By the time we get to the 3rd week of December of this year and finish out December of this year, we're going to get our little first grade cards for how well we're, separating the wheat from the chaff and what's viable and what isn't anymore from this eclipse right here. So big exclamation points will come in mid-October, and then we're going to see how well we're flowing along with this, and the good karma will be there as we come to Yuletide and winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. So we're going to have Mercury in Libra square Mars. Mars is in Cancer over the 6th to the 8th. And then we're going to find results over the 8th and the 9th. And when Pluto stations direct at that Antarctic degree of 29 degrees of Capricorn, we're going to start to see options, resolutions, good discussions, great communication. The balancing, I think, is happening between the 8th and the 11th of October. Then on the 13th, Mercury will square Pluto in that late degree of Libra Capricorn. The Sun will dance with Jupiter, even though it's retrograde, and Mercury enters Scorpio. The 13th and 14th and 15th of October of 2024 will course correct. Either we lean into it and we're able to be behind the steering wheel and watch what's going on with all our dials and whistles and everything. The full moon will be on exact on the 17th in Aries. And so Venus will move into Sagittarius. Now the fire and the fire in the air signs, which are yang, which are results, which are good equations and formulas and things that add up, are going to start to happen. So if I look at October, I would say that this first week of October and then the second week of October are the answers and the bearing witness to the problems that we may be creating again and again. Like, are we the hamster on the treadmill, and because we won't move into a new belief or take some different methods or learn a little something about psychology or soul or meditate or celebrate or do ceremony, if we can do more work right now to break up with our past and to let go of those and that which have hurt us, drained us, and debilitated us, and break up with the energy of that and move away from the personal names of these people, places, and situations. If we can break up with that and simply call in our prayer, I invite that all of my soul lessons, my personality corrections, I now allow my new teachers of harmony, intuition, balance, personal soul sovereignty, trusting myself, I allow these to be my new teachers in my school of life. And I'm breaking up and divorcing pain as my teacher, and I'm breaking up with chaos and crisis being the sudden baseball bat over my head in order for me to finally pay attention. So I'm going to celebrate that if I can get out of my own way and allow spirit and great mystery to harmonize lessons into my life, I'd like to experience that now in my vision quest. I don't want to have to just have stark losses or shocks and disruptions to be the things that capture my attention. I promise, God, I promise, angels, whisper to me, embrace me. I'll listen. I'm ready for peace. The ultimate goal of Libra and Pisces is spiritual grace and peace. That's the best of those signs. Music, and how music can take us out of any mood, and how we get lifted up by dance and music and art and fantasy and tripping and raving. I mean, those places we go to go, man, that was great. Man, I went somewhere else. All that can happen without any kind of substance dependency or addictions with alcohol or whatever. We can arrive at that. Those things happen to us to teach us that there are indeed other multifaceted parts of ourselves, our mind, our emotions, our sensuality. That's what those things produce. Did you know that about yourself? I didn't know how I'd act until I had 4 glasses of Southern Comfort. No, I didn't know, but boy, I went there. So we also can learn in altered states different kinds of methods of self-healing in medicine if we don't get addicted to that ride. So again, what's it all boil down to? Balance.
That's
so
it.
Venus rules this, and I want you all to at least write down that full moon, that time frame of the 14th to the 17th of October, because it's medicine. It's a type of thing that's going to heal you. So let me quickly go through the signs. You need to take a break? Or do you want me to
Yeah,
go
I have
quickly?
to. We have to
Go.
pay for the licensing. We'll do the signs and
Yes, sir.
and take your calls when we come back. Right here with Mary Dusina.
For
Stay with
reading.
us.
For reading.
We'll go through your signs, tell you what's up, and then she will take your phone calls. Stay with us.
Hey, this is country music singer and void walker Jason Benoit, and when I need my fix on the world of magic and the capabilities of the human consciousness, I listen to Joe Roop right here on Lighting the Void Radio.
This is Malorcas 45, fan of the Fridge FM, challenging everyone to open their mind's eye. Listen to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop to gain precision for your third eye vision.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Have you ever wondered, what do the stars say for me? Or, will the next month or the next year be more favorable? How about, are our 2 signs compatible? Each month, at the new moon, you can ask these questions live with me, your astrologer psychic, Mary Dusina, along with host of Lighting the Void, Joe Roop. Join us at the new moon for Cosmic Conditions. We look forward to working with your energy.
Every new moon at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fringe FM.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work. Sorry, I'm late. Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to Discover the Forest.
Back in it. Mary Dusina's here with us. We're going to go through your signs. Well, I'll take that back. Mary's going to go through your signs. And then we're going to take your phone calls.
Absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. That's sweet. That's cute. Thank you for that. And those of you that want to go deep on a soul level, you can get a hold of me. You can go to my website. Joe knows how to get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me. I'm on Facebook as Cosmic Conditions and Instagram. And I don't do a whole lot with Twitter. I like to read things there, but I don't really participate a lot on X Twitter. So there's a way. And my number, you can find it. You can friend me and all that kind of stuff. And again, trust who you're drawn to as far as who you want to get a reading with. Don't just look at price. Don't just look at that's too much or that's too cheap. They must not be good. No, nothing could be further from the truth. Trust your intuition about it, not just the price. So for Aries, of course, is Aries and Libra. Happy birthday, Libra. Happy new solar year. Aries and Libra are in the spotlight most of all 12 signs, because for Libra, it's the beginning of their solar new year. And for Aries, it's all about their seventh house and their significant others, what I like to term our sows, the people that are in our lives so much in a plethora of ways. So for Aries, this eclipse over the next 5 to 6 months is opening doors for supportive relationships. You may experience adjustments in all of your sows, all of your partnerships, both personal and professional, but for Aries, there are positive eclipse cleansings, and as it's cleansed and one door closes, a voice of new portals and opportunity, more magnificent, more prosperous, month by month, build until middle March of 2025. So for Aries, it's a time to focus on the compromise and the balance of do I need to lean in more and speak what I expect from this partnership or this job or this lover. Maybe I need to not expect and yet hold my voice. Maybe I need to find my voice and speak my mind, because the seventh house rules every kind of serious contractual, emotional, psychological, financial agreement between two people or entities. The contracts that we sign, the notarized document that happens, anything legal or binding or any kind of a commitment, and even the people that come against us. When you get into astrology, you'll understand the seventh house can also be the detractors or the antagonist or the open enemies, as well as your staunchest allies. So it always has to do with the agents, the attorneys, those who represent or collaborate with you or against you. So that's why you want to, again, learn your houses and then apply the energies of the spices, the 12 celestial spices. So it's time, Aries, to focus on especially what's balanced, who compromises, are you compromising enough, and the big eye-opening time cycle of autumn of 2024 is going to be the Aries full moon. That's the start of our new lunar year. Every sign out there, whether you have Aries or Libra, our first full moon in Aries that's going to start a new 12-month full moon cycle. What do you want to begin is your focus at this full moon that comes up, all of our signs. The Aries part of your chart is where the full moon is going to do a vacuuming and a clean sweeping and a dusting, saying, this area is a little dusty over here. You need to unclutter this. So by mid-month, the Aries house in your chart, not so much your planets, those are just extra specific messages, but the house of Aries and the eclipse is the house of Libra. Those two are exactly opposite each other. So you are in the spotlight, Aries and Libra, absolutely 100%. It's most intense, most rewarding, most cleansing, and verifying for those two signs. If you're a Taurus, the eclipses bring expected changes in your daily routines. It has a lot to do with your health and wellness, how you will either back off on taking on new responsibilities or find a healthier balance in what you're doing for your energy. Where are you expending your energy? What are you working too much with? What could you delegate? How could you maybe just start a couple of things that might be better overall for your wellness? Your wellness habits are under the spotlight with this, and it's a great time to step by step improve your overall health conditions. Maybe for some it's an operation. Other people, might feel they didn't know why they were so tired, and maybe they had an ablation, or maybe they finally went to the foot doctor, or maybe they got that tooth infection taken care of. Whatever it is, maybe you needed an antibiotic or some new herbs. Over the next 3 months especially, but it's going to be a step-by-step improvement, awakening, and awareness with new options about feeling better, looking better, having new teachers and agents and practitioners, therapists that come into your life to where you go, man, that raised the bar. Yeah, I feel better. I'm leveled up. Some will gain weight. Some will lose weight. Some will not be so attached to their stress. A lot of Taurus, their stress levels get activated rapid fire if they don't have control over everything financial and the money. If anything disrupts them with the taxes or the money or the cost of something, that's what puts them into a spin zone, because Taurus is a very earthy, value-conscious sign. So I'm telling you, your stress and your stress over 3D Earth things, the monetary issues, the port strikes, the this or that, the lack of things in your life, stop focusing on that and put more appreciation and gratitude on what you do have and where it is good, and you'll start to see even your physical health improve. If you're Gemini, creativity, romance, self-expressions come into the flaming fire of opportunity. This eclipse, because you're an air sign, Libra is compatible with you. Jupiter's, doing its dance with you as well, could bring new opportunities for the maximizing of your creativity, your chutzpah, your savvy, your sassy. It's a time that you want to back off from responsibilities, and you want to just embrace joy and the spirit of playfulness in this life. So it's more of a lighthearted cycle for you Geminis, but you may find that you're kind of craving some fresh connections socially. If you're a Cancer, Mars is in your sign. So if you're a Cancer moon, Cancer sun, Cancer rising sign, Mars is in your sign. So when you look at Mars is like, what are you going to take action on? When are you going to do it? Why haven't you done it? So that's Mars. Forget what sign it's in. That's Mars. I'm ready. The ignition started. I'm going to hit the gas pedal. You ready to go? Get in. So now it's in the sign of Cancer. It goes, don't push me. I have to feel it. My emotions have to be at the right place. And why would you say that about me? Why would you say that to me in that kind of way? So Cancer is more like, I need to express my feelings, and sometimes I don't feel safe to, or I don't quite know how, or the last time I did that, yeah, that bit me. So Cancers can tend to hold on to the past woundedness and also the past exhilarations. You're like, oh, my God, that was such a good time. I loved that. I love that. They cherish the memories, and they have a little more work to do in releasing the wounds and the traumas. So Mars is going to help you with that, because Mars turns up the volume, and it jolts you into a new reality and a new option to be able not to be carrying all that heavy emotional, psychological weight. So it's going to stir changes within the home, where you live, the neighborhood you live in, the energies around the neighborhood, creatures, people, neighbors, community, the city, your family life, family members, not necessarily the ones that you live with, but the family, the tribe, the biological tribe, children, grandparents, uncles, aunts, exes, all that kind of stuff. You might start something new that's related to your actual living situation or emotional foundation. So I think you're going to be balancing and realigning your domesticness and what makes you feel soft moments in your home base, wherever that is. If you're Leo, Mars is in your 12th house right now, and it's going to stay there for a while. So Leos are going through a very secretive, quiet comeuppance. Where am I in my life at this point? Where am I attached? Where do I feel liberated? And until you get to Mars going into Libra on November 5th, and we'll talk before then, there's like a cleansing going on in what? Oh, for Leo, it's their 12th house. If Leo is your sign or your rising sign, the sign before you is Cancer. That's your 12th house if you're a Leo. So Mars is coming in there. Imagine a soldier, a warrior, a hero, a white knight coming in, Leo, and saying, you've been struggling with that for too long. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you confront and have a successful outcome in what's been a battle that you and only you have been fighting. Because 12th house are very private things. And if there's things that are stressing you out so much that you literally could get sick and tired of being sick and tired of dealing with these restrictive circumstances, Mars is going to change it up one way or the other. All the Libra stuff is beautiful for Leo. Beautiful. The L team, I talk about the A team and the L team. Leo and Libra, yeah, they flow well together. So you got a lot of Libra support going on, but you need to read about your 12th house sign, and Cancer's ruled by the moon. So even though you turn the corners of your mouth up, and you can be the clown in the crowd trying to make light of everything, Leo, you looking in the mirror, deal with those things that you secretly are afraid of how the finances are going to be, or what if that happens, or what if that stops, or what if that dies, or what if, you need to, what will I do? Plan A, plan B. I got to have a plan. So you've got to go easier on yourself and get into engaging with music, your creativity, nature. Hug yourself. Create some soft moments for yourself. Play with the dog, watch the movie, do a Netflix binge if that's what you've got to do. Fix your favorite comfort food. Mars is in Cancer. Be good to you. If you're Virgo, this Libra eclipse lights up the monetary, financial, substance things that we have in our life, how we barter, how we pay, how we collect, who owes us, who do we owe, what do we want to invest in, what do we want to liquidate. So this eclipse is prompting changes in how you play with your income, your values, and on a deeper level, how you honor your self-worth. So it's a good time to look at your good qualities, reassess the resources that you have that help you feel secure and stable. It's pretty strong for that. The Mars and Cancer thing, yeah, that's okay for Virgo. That's going to help you manage your assets, and it's going to give you a little bit of a flow with the accounting and the bookkeeping. If you're Libra, you're that other spotlight sign. So it's happening in your sign. Venus, your ruler. It's all about your personal transformation. You might experience a fresh start in your self-image. You might do that beautification, that therapist, that Botox, that whatever the heck you're into, because Botox. The new wardrobe, the new hairstyle, the new look, the new identity. But you're trying to work with embracing a change that aligns with the deep part of yourself that you've kept locked up a little too long. It's okay to be you, and it's okay to express you. If you're Scorpio, Venus is in your sign, Mercury's going there by the 11th. It's a time of deep reflection. The Libra is your 12th house, Scorpio. So it's a time for your inner garden to grow. The eclipse blesses you and highlights the depths of your subconscious. Scorpio loves to go as deep as you can go anyway. So Scorpio, you're pushing. It's an energy to thrust and push you to let go of past baggage, rest, heal, prepare for the new beginnings ahead, because your season of glory is coming the third week of October anyway. There's a lot of things bounce into Scorpio, and the Mars in Cancer ain't going to hurt you either. If you're Sagittarius, your social circles, your friendships, connecting with high school people, college people, cousins, relatives you haven't seen for a while, will actually, those kind of conversations and meetups and greet-ups, those family reunion kind of things, that's going to actually, in a weird way, be some nice medicine for the people that when you venture to go visit or have time with them away from the wife or the husband or the kids or the parents, it's going to, it's like letting them miss you, even your pets. It's letting them miss you, and when you come back, it's just like, wow, they missed me. And they see me in a different light, and I'm just not like the doll that you put up on the shelf or the leash you hang up on the hook or the hanger for the shirt. They're seeing me in a different light, and it's good for those other people to have felt your absence so they can appreciate your presence. So it's a good time to reconsider the role you want to play in groups and how your goals are aligning with those around you. It's an 11-house dance, and so new groups and new social connections can bless you, especially into March of next year. Capricorn, you're a cardinal sign, so your career, your public life, this is like in the spotlight kind of a thing. It's you may want to move away from work you've done for a long time or a specialty you've done for a long time. There's some kind of shift in your commitment to the status that's going to occur. You may want to back up with so much of that you've done for 10 or 20 years and move into a different kind of direction and investment of people and finances. So you're going to be aligning with people that will serve your long-term vision. Aquarius, Libra is good with you. Libra kisses, it's air signs of Aquarius and Gemini. I see a priority with truth, vision questing, soul sojourns, education, travel, different styles of communication, learning a different language, a different culture. It's going to encourage you to embrace or consider other philosophies or perspectives. So Aquarius isn't wanting to fight about politics or religion. They're wanting to look more futuristic. Pluto's going to go back into your sign, and it moves really slow. It's the slowest moving celestial dynamic. So Aquarius, I mean, they're really forward-thinking, and I really like what's going to be coming up for Aquarius people. But it's Pluto, so it's going to be like you're literally going to be becoming into your higher self.
I have Venus
and
in Aquarius. I love it.
Oh, I love Aquarius. I love Aquarius energy. I don't care if they're avant-garde or futuristic or out of the box. I love it. I love the uniqueness of the Aquarius in my chart. So it's a great time for your spiritual growth and your intellectual choices, Aquarius. So wherever you've got Aquarius, that's what's about to go through the biggest resurrection you've ever known, no matter what your age is, this lifetime. If you're Pisces, this eclipse in Libra and the one that hit your sign directly in mid-September are bringing a sharp focus to who you share your space with, your money with, who you commit with, your intimacy, the transformations of that, because it's up in your 8th house. So, and Venus is in Scorpio right now. So you're undergoing changes that literally could take you to the edge of the risk. So life and death, yes or no, the extremes of those things. Do I have that surgery? Am I really scared and I'm just putting on a brave face? Will this surgery actually release me of 20 years of being addicted to the alcohol or the pain pills or this or that because I never could finally have the hero come along and grant me the right doctor or the right medical thing or the right nurse or physical therapist or shaman or whatever it is or religious activist and person that helped me transform. That's coming up for you, Pisces, in the next 3 months. And I feel like that as you actually release the old wounded you, the part of you that, I can't believe they said that to me. I can't believe all that I did for them. I can't believe. So Pisces, whether you like it or not, Spirit has let you do it your way for the last 19 years, and the eclipses are shifting into Virgo Pisces, our new series that hasn't been here for 19 years. All the eclipses except for that one in Aries as we start bouncing into 2025. The first one was our Pisces supermoon in mid-September. That's opening up the new north-south node positions of Virgo and Pisces. So the eclipse that's happened in Pisces in September hit the Pisces part of our charts. And I can tell you, here's your future prediction. For the next 18 months, the Virgo and Pisces areas of your chart are lit up. And if you happen to have a north or a south node position, either in Virgo and Pisces, your life drastically amplifies, clarifies, and ends up being a transmutation like you've never known before as you go into 2025 and on into 2026. So we are going, all of us, our next soul classroom is Virgo Pisces. We're finishing up the Aries Libra. We've got one more final exam in Aries coming up in March of 2025. The Aries Libra stuff started in 2023. We complete that in March of 2025. And these eclipses dance back to the year of 2004 to 2006, and then every 9 years they're switching around in different, like North Node, South Node switch. And so 2014, 2015 was another recent time that we went through the opposite of where the Aries eclipses North Node, South Node was then, and then we're going to go into Virgo Pisces. So the North Node is going to shift into Pisces. That's the soul work to do. The South Node is going to be in Virgo, and that's where we have to discern, discriminate, and prioritize how to get the optimal benefit of our skill sets, our knowledge, what we need to learn, and how we can teach and bless others. And it's also going to be, what I tell you at the beginning of this broadcast, Virgo and Pisces are the two signs that have to do with any kind of wellness and healing or dis-easement. So all of us have to deal with our stresses, and that's what I want to leave the signs with. I want to leave the signs with, please let what usually stresses you out or triggers you be released by the graces of God and the Almighty I Am, and please pay attention to how that can accelerate over these Rosh Hashanah, these 10 days of awe that go all the way into sunset of October 12th and the celebration of atonement at Yom Kippur on October the 13th. If you haven't done that with yourself, and I haven't really paid attention to it like I have especially for the last 3 years, it's amazing how Spirit will show up and talk to you in your dreams, in your waking life, with people, who calls, what happens. It's amazing. So just be open to, I've now entered the 10 days of awe, signs and wonders of 2024.
I don't believe in coincidences either. I mean, I've just released the moon card in the tarot series on the YouTube channel. So that whole, if you study the moon card, it's a tough path for everybody, but that Pisces energy that you can overcome and get past those wolves on your way there, it's worth it. That's real freedom too. Think about that.
It is.
Like, it's one thing to find fulfillment and say, like I said earlier, when I find this fulfillment, I'm going to get this freedom. But it's a whole other kind of freedom when you can let go of those deep programs of victimhood and nightmares. And why don't I get this when these other people get that? Like, if you can really, truly let that go in your core, your life will change. There will be a death that happens, a good one, Don't you think, Mary?
And a lot of people will use the egg symbol. A lot of people will say the snake sheds its skin. And of course, the proverbial, you go from a caterpillar into a cocoon and then to the liberated butterfly. And the butterfly is a gentler air creature where the caterpillar was earthbound. It could crawl up trees and concrete blocks and things like that, but it couldn't fly. And then it goes into that metamorphic complete chemical transformation, and it goes into its, if you will, type of death, because it's a cocoon, and until the timing is right, then it has to get out of that cocoon, like the snake or the bird or the chicken has to peck out of the egg, and then, or the dinosaur, or whatever you want to look at, and then it emerges as a butterfly, and it goes into the nectar and into the air and flowers and all of that, and helps the bees and everything pollinate. So it's interesting to look at how nature is a living visual oracle. Like, you can have oracle decks and tarot decks, and we'll work with those tonight as well. And I sent Joe the pictures, the 3 tarot cards of these eclipses. Justice is a card of Libra. The Empress is a card of Venus. If most tarot decks will have the symbol of Venus right on that heart that she's got as she's sitting out in the beautiful golden wheat of autumn. 11 is the Justice card. And then because the eclipse is at 10 degrees 3 minutes, the Wheel of Fortune, the number 10 card, or the Wheel of Fate, the great turning of the wheel. There's medicine wheels, our astrological wheels. There's the orb of the heavens above us, and circular things. Everything's circular. Everything that is the circle of life that's never broken. The 10, the 1, and the 0. And if you add 1 and 0, it's still 1, so that takes us back to what? Oh, so the hidden card is the Magician, because that's the number 1 in the major triumphs. And in the minor trumps or triumphs of the tarot, all of the, quote, 1 cards are aces. So it also activates the Ace of Wands, autumn, the Ace of Cups, the Pisces eclipse, the Ace of Swords. I see the Ace of Swords as air, the air signs of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and I see the Wands as fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and I see then the Pentacles, or the Ace of Pentacles, as the earth dynamic energies or frequencies of Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So there's an energy here that's saying to us, your goal, your results, your win-win is you are the magician. That's the hidden message right now, because it's a 10, Wheel of Fortune, Magician, Libra eclipse. So we've got Libra, which is justice, the scales. Venus rules this eclipse. That's the Empress. And, oh, gee, her card is number 3, and it's 10 degrees, 3 minutes of Libra. 3 is the Trinity. And then we're also going to open up the aces, especially the Ace of Autumn, which goes back to the sign of Libra. Libra opens up Mabon. Libra opens up the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere. So we are married to spirit. The first mystical marriage is you and your God and what you see as sacred or holy. We're married when we come onto Mother Earth. We're married.
Absolutely.
So it's about balancing our marriage of light and dark, hot and cold, love and hate, and heaven to earth. So I see this as a very exciting, magical time that if we'll just stop resisting what has to die, where we have to release our grip, Mars is in Cancer, the crab claws, got to release our grip, and you can risk your vulnerability because we're only releasing our grip to the providence of the heart of the divine, the sacred light of love. That's what the higher frequencies of Libra is. So I'm willing to be loyal in my marriage to the divine source, the divine presence, that I will give full director control to the lights of love, supernatural grace. You be my money. You be my clients. You be my path. You protect me. You're in charge of my prosperity and my wellness, and I will do my part to be the best version of myself in partnership here on earth with my supreme soul in the temple of a living God. Boom, that's it. That's my marriage.
What you said too is like in the occult and the esoteric, first people learn that in psychology it's like the anima and the animus, then they learn about the sacred energies of masculine and feminine. But then as you get into this whole thing deeper and deeper, the marriage, the bridegroom isn't masculine and feminine per se. That's a deeper symbol for your physical body, your individual person marrying the higher self, God, the spirit, so to speak, which is represented by the feminine. So it's not what a lot of people think. The deeper you get into it, the more you realize that,
And you know what? It always has been. It always has been that prescription, that formula, that alchemy, and it's how we allow ourselves to wake up to what already is a living truth.
Yeah, it's not.
What already is supernatural force fields available to us. When we were born, we plugged in. We are plugged in to the Almighty I Am. We were born with everything we need. Everything we need. Yep. We just have to accept it, receive it, claim it, summon it, and start working. I mean, it costs you nothing in your prayers to summon up the providence and the grace of the divine, the prosperity of the divine. Thank you for being the prosperity of my meant-to-be love. Thank you for protecting my children, my parents. Thank you for releasing me from any trauma, abusive, or woundedness that I fear when I get around my family of origin or my relatives. Or thank you for blessing me, even though I might have experienced incarnating with some physical or mental challenges or limitations. You know, thank you if I had an accident and I lost a limb or this or that in war or in a car accident or whatever. Thank you for my ability to survive addiction and to be able to rise up a stronger version of myself and lead my path. So for the time that I'm here, my seeds and my mark in this incarnation for this lifetime and beyond, whatever the greater higher purpose is, I will be remembered as a force to be reckoned with, a force that could be trusted, a force that cared about the prosperity of light seeds happening everywhere. And if that means I have to set a boundary, if that means that I have to say, no, not now, I'm not doing it. To thine own self be true. And as we do that, we automatically receive the abundance because we love and trust ourselves to be ourselves. And so when the divine goes, yeah, look at the light on that one. Yeah, be good or don't get around that one. And you're automatically protected and you're automatically prospered. And if we don't let the energy drainers get in because they're not wanting to do their work, they're wanting to stay stuck, so they need you to be their villain or their victim. If we say, nope, not playing the game that way anymore, I'm into a different kind of game board right now, and I've kind of achieved a different level than that. I've learned from that one, so I don't want to stay stuck just at that particular game.
I've done that so many times too, and the phone lines are open too, so we'll take your calls now at 501-777-5631. I want to give a shout out to Corey for signing up to the members on the YouTube, and for Sudi for giving a donation. Thank you so much. But I've done that. God, I don't know how many times, Mary. Like seriously. It's like the intent. Well, the intensity happens, and you're telling for a fact, you're like, I'm going to become this person's like perpetrator. In the end, I know, like I'm going to be this person's like villain, but maybe I can change them. Maybe, right? And you should have just put the loving boundaries up to begin with. It's not bad. If you care about yourself and love yourself enough, you're able to love others even better instead of trying to change people. It's not.
Well, and Libra time every year. Yeah, Libra time every year, Joe, gives us a different kind of communication, compassion. It gives us a way to deliver the message that's non-threatening, and it's opposite of Aries. So it doesn't have to be just when they make us angry that we set a boundary of like, you pushed me too far, stay out of my relationship. Why do you always do that? Instead, it could be like, oh, you seem like you're concerned about that. Tell me. Sometimes I'll say to people, my Libra thing is I'll say to people, I don't want to assume. Say that to me a different way. I want to hear you tell me the same thing in a different way, use some different words, and then I'm going to say it back to you because I want to make sure this is important to you, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page before I react.
Right. Exactly. I'm hoping the phone lines are working. People are calling and hanging up like crazy. So it's 801 area code. You're on the air. Can you hear us? 801?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you might be getting a little feedback, but I'm glad you can hear us. I was wondering why people were calling. I've had 40 people while Mary's talking, calling and hanging up in my ear too, by the way. So,
poor guy.
It's all right.
Hello, all.
What's happening?
I can't hear the caller.
You can't hear the caller. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's something. No, it's not okay. Let me fix it.
Well, I mean,
is that better?
I mean, I want to let you know because, or you'll have to interpret, and then I'll still give you the psychic reading. We're not going to kick them to the curb for that.
No, I don't want to do that. Let's see.
I can hear you, Joe. Mary, can you hear me?
Yeah, she can now.
Now I can. Yes, thank you, Joe.
Hi.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I just did hear you. Thank you, caller.
So, do you want Mary to pull a card for you, or do you have a question for Mary?
I would love to have Mary pull a card. Thank you. Yes.
Cool.
The energy that I'm getting is the Messenger of Pentacles. In some decks, it's the Princess. In some decks, it's the Page. A lot of times in the 3 decades plus I've been working with cards for myself and other people, I see the pages and the princesses as messengers. And I feel like the message can be actually coming through a dream, through a meditation, a prayer, a sign or wonder as we enter these 10 days of awe. It can be a representative in a animal or a person. I do feel a feminine spirit with this, so I feel like that I see a swan as the animal totem, and I feel that there's like a peacefulness. And even on the medicine wheel, there's a swan and a brown bear in the artwork of this deck. It's a beautiful deck. And so when we get to Libra, it's the West, and to the Native Americans, eagle is in the East, and the bear is in the West. So the bear has, we talk about bears getting ready for hibernation and stuff in the mountains. So the bear is the inner part of you that's strong and silent and needs periods of hibernation and restoration. The swan has to do with you accepting that you're already enough, you're already beautiful, you already have incredibly unique ways of communicating and touching another's lives, even when you say no, or even when you say, yep, I'm going to say yes to that. So there's something about you being in an orbit by the very way that you're living, Spirit tells me, and the challenges that you've been undergoing, that you're setting an example by walking through it, that other people are observing going, damn, she's doing good with that. Wow, that would have knocked a loop out of me. That would have put me back on my heels. But your automatic lesson that your guides have you going through right now is also being very much an impression to other people.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm working hard at it. Yeah.
Strong. Yeah, it's really strong with you. It's like you're like multifaceted with this. It's just like my external self, my mental self, my physical, psychological, I am that I am self is on this course. I'm correcting, I'm allowing, I am dedicated. And the inner part of you, that faith factor, that I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care if I got $2 in my, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to shape shift through this all. It's like you've got your inner and your outer self in sync. You got them in sync. You got the Libra balance going on, and now you just need to allow the acceleration of the divine. Let it in.
Thank you
Let it in.
so
It'll clear
much.
It'll clear the whole damn path for you.
I'm so grateful for you, Mary.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, thanks for your call.
That matters much.
Thank you for your call.
You as well, Joe. We'll talk soon again. Blessings, everyone. Be safe.
All right, good night. Very good energy on that call. I like that one.
Yeah, I receive. We receive. We receive. We all receive. And Joe and I send our blessings to you. Literally, as you breathe, just know that our heartfelt intentions are to bless you through this autumn season and to have you prepared, protected, prospered, and strengthened even before we get to winter solstice and Yuletide. This is our season to appreciate and have gratitude for the garden that we grew within ourselves as agents of the divine. Yeah, yeah.
I saw how you put that twist on it, that garden twist. All right. 216 area code. You're on the air. Who are you speaking with?
Hi, Joe and Mary. It's Monica from Ohio.
How are you?
I owe you more than anything for your knowledge and insight. And you hit the nail on the head. Pisces is a tough sign going on right now. But if you could, can you give me a card and just give me a sign?
Give me a sign.
What I
Yes,
can do
Pisces.
with it.
I am so energized and so excited for you Pisces risings and Pisces sun signs, and of course that includes the moon, so don't get technical with me because I'll set a boundary. I'm excited for the Pisces energy, the Pisces tribe. The Pisces part of our chart is the real secret key that's being unlocked right now. Neptune is your ruler. Neptune is still in Pisces. Saturn is still in Pisces. So I want to say to all the people with the Pisces impacts, the last 18 to 19 months have been big challenges, close to 2 years of like, holy moly, what next? And wow, when do I get off the roller coaster or the racetrack? And what's coming next year, Pisces gets rewarded when the North Node slips into Pisces, because Pisces compassion and Pisces dedication and Pisces, they do have a tendency to suffer in silence, get their feelings hurt, and just suck it up and kind of have to work through it themselves. I just keep seeing these big healings going on for Pisces, and I'm liking what I'm seeing in their personal life. They may not be looking for that. Recently widowed Pisces I've talked to, and they're just like, oh, my God, no, my husband was so sick, I'm not looking for somebody else. Yeah, well, that's not what I'm seeing psychically. You don't have to be looking
it's usually when it
for
happens.
spirit to...
Yeah.
Right. But I just feel that there's like a lot of retributions of love and spirit wanting you to visibly and viably experience the times, all those times in secret that you gave, that you did the most you could, and maybe it wasn't acknowledged or there wasn't the reciprocity, but there's a power of grace that's coming for Pisces, and I see that amping up this Scorpio season. So like the third week of October, your card is the Six of Wands. The wands are the fire that's fed by the air, the oxygen of the sky world. And so on this card, there are sunflowers. They're in full bloom. They're perky. They're not wilted. There is a sandy blonde kind of haired rider on a horse that's flying up in the stars, not unlike the sky goddess represented in the Egypt symbology, Nuit, Nuit. She's the sky goddess that gave birth to Ra each morning. And that the rider on the horse is able to touch and grasp a huge star, and they're like holding it like a lantern and a torch, and they're headed to the right. The right is the future that's coming in, that which is manifesting and coming in. The horse totem has to do with horsepower, the little engine that could. So you've got more power, empowerment, I-N, empower, meant to be in you right now. The cape is full of stars. The horse's body and tail is blue, indigo blue with stars, and the shooting star is literally pulling you forward into kind of like Cinderella slips the glass slipper on. That. There's like a lot of really good payback. The infinity symbol is swinging it back to you. All the times that you just did it because it was the right thing to do, you gave it because it was a person or a place in need, and you didn't really think about having a string attached. Well, you know what? God's eyes were watching. The angel eyes were aware. There was a record made of all of it, and it's coming back to you in 2025, if not before, starting in late October, November.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's the beautiful energy of Pisces.
And best thing that you guys are, but no words. I love you guys. I appreciate it.
Please call
Joe,
us back.
I know you didn't read any of my comments about the guy you were talking about, and that was kind of my father in a way. And
well, let me tell you my story just real quick about Pisces. One. Yes, he is just like Mary's talking about. He suffers alone. Mm-hmm. He tells himself on the inside all the time. Nobody gets him. Nobody understands how to be as good as he is. Why can't people just love and be good like he does if they don't do it for him? Whatever. That story's going on in his head, and it hurts him deeply. But two.
Exactly.
You want to know
my dad.
You want to know something though? When I was in Florida, I got trapped. Yeah. Well, I was about to get trapped, and I called my father and I said, you know what? I think I'm about to be in a real bad situation, and you're the only person I know. And it didn't take him but about 5 minutes, and he said, it'll take me a day to get down there. He stopped everything he was doing, and he came and got me. Yep. There was nobody else on earth that would have done that for me. Not like that.
Absolutely. My dad too. It's stubbornness. It's the way they were brought up. It's hard to deal with, and we just go on with it. We kind of just, we don't let it slide. We just know. Yeah. That's
so
what
he's one of a kind in the heart. Mm-hmm. But I would love for him to just be happy with helping people, and that's it. Just be happy with it.
Absolutely.
Well, in these next 10 days of all, I'm gonna join you in that prayer.
Right. Maybe we should. Maybe we all should. Yeah.
Yep. I'm up for it. I am a firm believer in unified prayer and meditation ceremony is alchemical, guaranteed results, period.
Well,
You know
I'm
what?
glad that you called in to talk
Again,
about it.
Mary nails it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
guys
you, Spirit.
rock.
Thank you,
I
Almighty. I
appreciate
am.
you guys so much, and thank you. And it's good to hear something good.
Right.
Yes.
Thanks for calling.
I love you
and
guys.
sincere. Yeah, sincere. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, Joe. Pisces and Libra together, people need encouragement and hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's
high
good
medicine
people
right
in the
now.
world, man. There's people that
Oh,
hearts
God.
bleed for other people. You don't. They're there. They're
They show up.
everywhere, you know, and they show
Yep.
up. Yeah. Let's see, 413 area code. You're on the air. Who we speaking with? 413.
Hey, it's Chris.
What's up,
in
Chris?
Massachusetts.
What's on your mind? Do you want Mary to
Blessings,
pull a card
Chris.
for you, or do you got a question for her?
Pull a card, please. I'd appreciate that.
Thank you, Chris, in Massachusetts. The card that you got is the Aries card. You got the 4, you got the Emperor, and what I see on here in this particular deck is a shaman, the appreciation of various methods of soul medicine, mind medicine, heart medicine. There is a cougar, mountain lion or cougar, and he is his helmet, his attire, his hood, if you will, his hoodie, is 2 eagles facing left and right. Eagle is the energy of Scorpio. It's the bird that flies the highest in the study of Mother Nature thus far, unless another species is created. And above it, there is a illuminated crescent aspect of the sun, and then there's a crescent aspect of the moon with a shining star, the North Star, up at the top of that. So the sky medicine, the stars, shooting stars, these upcoming meteor showers that you can study about. We had an X-flare today. The coronal energy is on maximum, as it's on maximum high as we go into the end of this year in 2025. But the shaman, the medicine man, the healer, has a lot of feathers around him. Again, I'm seeing sky symbols, the air world. And the mountain lion cougar is on his left side, and he has put his hand down to give, and there's nothing that you see in his hand, but he's giving it to the mountain lion, and she looks more feminine. And on his other side, there is an apprentice. There is a child that's doing almost like Viking or Native American type of symbols. And so the energy of the mountain lion, the cougar, is flowing through the medicine keeper and going into the child. I see a lot of strength with the vivacious inner child in you, the creative, impetuous, sometimes impatient, but the one that can summon up the belief in things and the charm of things. And I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I'm going to say, why not? And all the other people, it's like, no, you got pie in the sky, and you're always up in your head. But I see words coming together and music notes and things dancing, and it's almost like instead of a tornado, what I'm seeing is like a whirlwind of different kind of artistic skill sets and things that like how people put a puzzle together. I don't work puzzles because I get impatient, but how people can have that steadfastness to put the puzzle together. It's just me, and how people can have that patience to do oil painting or portraits and things. And I just see this big surge of creativity coming to you, and I see both spiritual principles or disciplines or biblical verses. Maybe that's part of the words, or certain songs that stimulate you. But I see your whole way of writing and communicating being leveled up. I don't know. I just have to tell you as I get it. That's what I'm saying.
All right. I appreciate that a lot. I'm sitting up here grinning because a lot of that connects very deeply. So I appreciate the two of you very much.
Can you put a jigsaw puzzle together, or are you going to just freak out on it and leave it like Mary?
I don't freak out. I just leave it.
She's like, I can't do. I'm done. I'm done. Not doing this.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I can't handle that. I'm too scatterbrained. I'm in a million places at once.
Right. Yeah. I get it, man.
Maybe that's why I saw the word salads and the songs and all the things coming together. But you know what? It's like an equation, and sometimes we're adding, sometimes we're multiplying, dividing, and subtracting. But in the end, the culmination of this is there's going to be some neat additions and things multiplying if I had to pick, it's not division and subtraction in a bad way. I just feel like maybe it's mathematical formulas that they're using as a psychic symbol for me to tell you it's all coming together, and you're going to be very acutely aware of how you invest your energy, not just for the payoff, but for how it lets you celebrate you. So less just, I'm going to work because I got to do it, and more into, you know what, I'm going to work anyway. I'm going to make the spirit of pleasure and fun and play come into this.
There you go.
And then that will boost you up to do other things.
I feel that warm feeling in my heart right now too. So that means a lot. You two made my night, and I'm going to be reaching out to you soon, Mary, for some readings.
Yeah,
so
get that.
Thank you,
sure.
thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you, and blessed for blessing Joe and I. We've done it. We're on our 5th year of tithing our time, and we both put money into this too. So thank you for recognizing that. The verbal recognition of the time and the study and the skill sets that Joe has and I have, the fact that the audience really gets it, that we show up no matter what. I mean, Joe's been sick, I've been sick. We show up because this is a part of our spiritual prescription in our heart and how we know that we can give without it technically costing people too much in times of inflation or whatever. And thank you for giving us the prosperity blessing in words. And thank you all for when you donate and you tithe and you get readings, because that helps us keep on keeping on.
That's right. Thanks for your call, Chris. Call us back. Make sure you call us back.
I definitely will. Thank you guys. Your wisdom has been invaluable over the years. So keep on keeping on. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Mary,
that's beautiful. I love that.
Mary, you got a final thing to say? I want to say real quick, thanks, Mark Turner, for signing up to the YouTube members. Thank you. What's the I mean, I always ask you this, right? Like, sum this thing up in a sentence or two, but sometimes I feel like this one's a deep one. You can't do it in a sentence, you know? What do
no,
we
but
need
I can
to
bring
do?
it alive. I can bring it alive because you understand alchemy and magic too. The prescription that's going to be the win-win is going to be, this is your daily homework. What do I appreciate that I do have? What am I grateful for that I've overcome? How may I, in some way, every day, put a little bit of compassion in action, or kindness, a deed of kindness, pay it forward in motion? It's not the amount. It might be you get up from your table and you open the door for somebody struggling to come in the door. It didn't cost you money. It let you meet the eyes of a person, and they looked at you like, I don't know who you are, but thank you. So kindness in action. Focus now, especially in these next 10 days of awe coming into Yom Kippur. Focus on, no matter what's missing, no matter what's not in your wallet or your purses or your dream job or the relationship isn't there yet by your external eyes, thank you for what I do have. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you for those that love and appreciate me. Thank you for the animals that I can help support. Thank you for how I can tithe. It isn't always attached to physical coin or paper money or digital, any of that. How might I show up with the grace and the glory of soul light, love's light? How can I be the change, a part of the change that I'm seeking to see in this world? Move away from the fear porn. Move away from the dividedness, the divisiveness. That's what makes the scales swing back and forth, and it's a cyclone and a tornado of stress and uncertainty and insecurity. No, I break up with you, and I am married to everything that is of harmony, sacredness, and the holy prosperity. I am one with the almighty I am forces. Aho, amen. I give thanks.
That's perfect. You guys make sure if you haven't got a reading from Mary, you don't know what you're missing. I'm not just saying that, right? Like, you guys need to do it. At least get one. If you haven't got one, get one, right? Because it hits deep, it hits home, and it's something that it needs to be awakened in you. And I've not had one person come back to me about a reading from Mary in any kind of way and say that it did not change them for the better. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit.
Make sure you do that. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Mary, next new moon, right? Of course.
Yes, sir. And happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween. Happy wonderful season of Scorpio coming up, because we'll get back together at the new moon. And this is Libra, so we'll get back together in the new moon of Scorpio. I love you all. I don't even have to meet you to tell you that we can send love to each other. Receive it, prosper by it, increase it, and go out there and bless somebody else or some other creature. Just do it. You know, it's the old Nike commercial. Just do it. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, audience.
And now, y'all, sweet dreams. Oh, man, that was a good one, Mary.
Thank you, sir.